Hello everyone, Justin here, and today let's draw an eagle profile view. So let's just go ahead and start by drawing its beak. It's going to be looking to the left, head is right here, beak is on the left side. So let's go ahead and just draw a curved line out to the side and then comes to a point down here. We're going to come back all the way back here to the end of its mouth, just like that. And let's just kind of fine-tune that line a little bit. I've got a little bleeding going on with my paper here. Alright, so the bottom of its mouth will be, or its beak, will be down here. And it's going to basically just go back to the end of the mouth here. Alright, and let's draw the bottom part. And notice that it's getting thicker as we go back. And we're going to stop right there for now. So right here will be the nostril, and basically it's going to be a partial oval, and we'll make the upper right side darker just because it's a hole, and that'll indicate that it's darker in there because of the shadow. Alright, and from this angle we're kind of slightly looking up at the head, so we're going to be able to see the inside of the upper part of the beak. So we'll draw another line just like that, and maybe darken the inside a little bit here, make this line a little bit thicker. And I'm gonna just go ahead and switch over to my thinner pen. This one is a Micron. I was using a Sharpie earlier. This is a Micron 05, and I'm going to just go ahead and draw some vertical lines here just to give it a darker shade, darker value, just because it is inside. It's going to be a little bit darker, but I'm also going to add a couple horizontal lines, kind of indicate a little bit of the detail that's inside. Alright, and I'm just going to fine tune these lines a bit just because I'm getting some bleeding. Like I mentioned, I want it to be a little bit nicer here. Alright, so let's go back to the head here. The rest of this head is going to be made up of these shorter lines because of the feathers, but what we can do is just go ahead and kind of form the head with a line, a light line, and it's going to go kind of back here, and then here again the feathers start. So I'm just gonna start indicating that with some short lines, and again, just like here, let's just go ahead and form the neck. It's gonna come down this way like so. We can go ahead and fine-tune like the edges for now, again with short lines, kind of just overlapping the contour line we just drew in. And here the feathers are going to lay a little bit flatter, so we're not going to be having it go out as much. Here they're kind of sticking out, and then kind of levels off a little bit here, just like up over here. Alright, so the most important part of this will be the eye. So we're going to just draw an oval right here, just like that. And we'll draw the pupil smack in the middle, and let's just go ahead and give it a small reflection in the upper left. Actually, make that even smaller. Alright, so now this is circular, the pupil, and the iris itself will also be circular, sitting inside that oval eye. So let's just go ahead and form that inner circle like that, and darken the outer parts quite a bit here. So it's totally black actually. Alright, so next we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of a shadow here at the top just because there's a shadow coming off of the upper part of the lid. And add a little bit add a couple lines here that kind of indicate the feathers that are going over the eye. And these are going to be really short lines, and we're just basically gonna follow the direction of these feathers like so. Just gonna add some radiating lines on the inner eye just for a little bit of detail here. Alright, so let's go back to the feathers. We're going to indicate these feathers, as I mentioned, with really short lines, and they go close to the nostril here. And we're not going to draw every feather, but we're just going to start indicating some of them. And they kind of follow around the back part of the beak, like so. And you're going to have basically kind of a pretty distinct line here that separates the feathers from the hard beak. And this right here is all solid beak. So right here are all feathers. So I'm just going to start coming off this line that we put in and start adding these short lines for the feathers. And that kind of helps to hide that initial stark line around that lower beak. Okay, just add some random lines here, and then the feathers are going to follow the neck going down this way. So I'm just going to add some longer lines now, because as you go farther from the head part into the neck, the feathers actually also get longer. But I'm also adding some shadow here by repeating my lines, kind of layering them. Alright, and here, so the feathers are going this way, kind of like an angle. Here they're horizontal, right above the eye. And then right here is where they change direction. And I'm just going to sort of indicate that. You can go into as much detail as you want, but we're just kind of trying to indicate the major features. Okay. And the feathers right here around the head are very short. And I'll just continue adding some lines. And this eagle almost has kind of a brow that kind of gives us its mean look. So kind of indicate that with a shadow here and here. See how it's darker here? I just repeated my lines. And I'm gonna add a little bit of darker tones here as well by again superimposing more lines over what I've already drawn, and that just naturally makes it darker. And I'll continue that shading right here behind the eye, and just keep track of which direction your lines are going to go. Try to follow the feathers. Okay, so now, as I mentioned, as you get farther from the top of the head into the neck, you're going to see the feathers kind of separate out a little bit more, almost like strands of hair on a person. So I'm just gonna kind of do that, like right here. See how this is forming a tip here and here, and then underneath I'm gonna add more of those, almost like drawing flames. All right, down here. So the direction is this way and curving down into the neck. So just gonna add some more of these kind of V-shaped lines. kind of just keep these somewhat random, and I'll go ahead and kind of transition them into what we've already drawn up here with medium length lines. And notice here the feathers that are below other ones are going to be shaded a little bit darker. And I'm going to delineate these a little bit better with somewhat thicker lines as well. And depending on the eagle, the value of the feathers will also vary, where maybe the feathers on the head will be darker than the ones on the neck and the body. A good example would be the bald eagle, in which case, say like right here, the feathers down here are going to be darker. So again, I'm just adding more lines, and that just naturally makes it darker. So in fact, that's what I'll do. I'll just go ahead and make the neck feathers a little bit darker, and I'm just keeping these feathers here, the groups of feathers, light, and not adding too much more shading, whereas the feathers down here I'll just shade a little bit more. And again, lines that follow the direction of the feathers. And I'm adding some of these thicker lines within the light feathers just to give them some separation as well. Okay, and then right here then would be the top of its wing. So let's just go ahead and do that. Actually indicate a little bit where the wing is, and this just a nice curve going across, and then the neck itself ends right here. Alright, so now we can go ahead and darken the rest of the neck, going all the way to where the wing is. Maybe add another feather batch right here. Maybe add a little bit more shading here just to give it more shape, more volume. Okay. And add more individual feathers right there as I make this whole thing darker. Alright, I'm just gonna sort of indicate some feathers here on the wing, and maybe add a little bit of shading as well, just so it doesn't look so stark and empty. Alright, some more separation of feathers here as I go more to the right. And notice how I'm changing direction with my lines, because the feathers are going to be going this way now. Obviously, depending on how the neck is rotated, the head, the feathers are going to change direction as well. So anyway, that's should be pretty much it for this drawing. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Please like and share. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you at the next video. Thanks and have a great day. Bye.